Hello students, once again welcome back to Global Online. I know you all are preparing for the December attempt of NTA UGC NET examination from commerce and management background, correct? And you want to crack this examination at at any cost. Clear? Remember, the most important thing you need to do in this examination to crack, practice. Practice more and more MCQs, whether it is unit wise MCQs, chapter wise MCQs, whatever. Just practice more MCQs. Okay. So for that reason, I have come up with the more MCQs, the second part of expected MCQs on WTO, IMF, and World Bank. Clear? Those MCQs are very important in terms of your examination because these MCQs are I have prepared, okay, for clearing the concepts, understanding that will not only practicing for the examination, but those MCQs have the concept relevance, right? So we will be explaining those MCQs with a detailed explanation, so you will clear your WTO, IMF, and World Bank, right? And obviously it will boost your confidence and score in the examination. So I suggest please watch this video till the end and share as maximum as you can. Okay, so this is first question on your screen. You can see, which of the following are objectives of International Monetary Fund, IMF? Promote exchange rate stability, facilitate balanced growth of international trade, provide long-term infrastructure financing, assist in setting global environment standards, provide short-term financial assistance to countries facing BOP issues. Okay, so actually we have covered this IMF, okay, in a detail. So these questions are very relevant. Okay, if you can solve these questions now, you will be able to score आंख बंद करके 2 marks fix है. Clear? So what is the right answer of this? Option A, B and E. That means A, B and E, right? Providing long term, this is not correct. Assist in setting global environment standards, no, that is also not correct. Okay, it gives you promote exchange rate stability, obviously it is. Facilitate balanced growth of international trade, that is also correct. Short term, that is also correct. Okay, see, IMF ensure exchange rate stability to avoid devaluation races and trade distortions. That is why it ensures the exchange rate stability, right? It aims to promote global trade, which helps in global economic stability. Okay, in which the B is the correct one. Then E, BOP crisis loans are one of its core functions. Right? IMF gives a monetary fund or monetary help to those countries who are facing the BOP problems. Correct. C was not there in the right answer. Right? What is it saying? Infrastructure finance is the domain of World Bank. Correct? Because World Bank is giving long-term loans. करेक्ट, नॉट शॉर्ट टर्म. शॉर्ट टर्म लोन देना ये IMF का काम है. Environmental standards are primarily under UN bodies like UNEP, not in IMF, right? So that is why only A, B and E was correct, right? So if you are preparing for the upcoming NTA UGC NET examination from management and commerce background, we have come up with the right preparation strategy for you, in which the experts will guide you, will give you right direction how you will crack this examination, even if you are preparing for the first time for this examination. Okay, in this complete course we are providing you the complete video lectures in which your all concepts of paper 2 will be covered. Then you will be provided with the syllabus, full syllabus notes. All the 10 units of your paper 2 will be covered in that. Okay, you can also read those notes when you are traveling or whenever you want to. If you have notebook, if you have notepad, mobile phone, tablet, laptop, wherever you can have access to those. Mock tests will be provided to you, so you will practice more and more, and then your confidence will build more. Okay, and you will be able to answer the tricky questions, moderate to hard level questions, any questions. PYQs will be provided with the right explanation of it, so you will understand the examination pattern, from which topics the more questions are coming out, and what is the exact right answer and why. All the explanation will be provided. Doubt clearing sessions will be there, in which you can ask the questions to your experts. Experts will guide you and you will prepare better. Marathon sessions also will be there. Okay,
So this is complete course for your upcoming NTA UGC NET examination if you are preparing for the December attempt. Okay, what you need to do, just join the course. To join the course, you have to message on this number. Just WhatsApp your what we can say, just write a message on a WhatsApp number or give a missed call on a WhatsApp number. You will be guided. Okay, and start your preparation from today. You will be totally completely ready for the examination till the exam, right?
Next question. Which of the following are part of Bretton Woods institutions? Right? A. IMF, WTO, IBRD, ILO, and IDA. The right answer is option A, A, C, and E. A, C, and E. ठीक है? IMF, IBRD, and IDA. See, Bretton Woods institutions refers primarily to IMF and the World Bank Group, including IBRD and IDA. That is correct. WTO was established later in 1995 and is not part of Bretton Woods. Correct. ILO predates Bretton Woods, okay, in 1919 and is a part of the UN, not the Bretton Woods framework. So the question was only related to the Bretton Woods, okay, and the options which are not there in the right answer was not the connect. Those are not having connection with the Bretton Woods. Okay, they may have connection with the UN, right, or other things. Maybe some of the established after that, right? So that is why it was not there in the right answer. Next. Which of the following are functions of the World Bank, specifically IBRD and IDA? Correct. Financing infrastructure and development projects. B. Reducing poverty in low income countries. C. Providing balance of payment supports. D. Offering technical and policy advice to developing nations. And E. Acting as a lender of a last resort. Okay. So right answer is option A, that is A, B, and D. A, B, and D only. Correct. See, A option is correct, B option is correct, and D option is correct. Okay, let's have a discussion on it. Infrastructure projects are a major part of IBRD and IDA. Correct. Those are funding for the infrastructure development because these are the what we can say, the bodies of World Bank, and World Bank is responsible for giving the long term loans. Correct. IDA focuses on low income nations and poverty reductions. That is also correct. The bank also offers policy advice, capacity building, and technical expertise that we have discussed in the previous sessions when we have had a theory session, right? In which we have discussed all the points of all the functions and all the importance of the World Bank, IMF, and WTO also, right? So those things, policy advice, capacity building, and providing technical expertise, those all things we have discussed, right? Option C and E, these are the IMF functions, not the World Bank. Correct. Let's move to the next question now. Which of the following are funding principles of the World Trade Organization? Most favored nation treatment, national treatment, trade related environmental protection, binding and enforcement commitments, protectionism for vulnerable economies. Okay, so the right answer is option A, B, and D. A, B, and D. Okay, A, B, and D. C was not correct. E was not correct. Let's have a discussion. Okay, MFN ensures equal trade treatment to all members, right? Like most favored nation treatment is only for giving the equal opportunity to all the countries. Okay, that means there should not be any discrimination between those countries. All rules are applicable to all countries, all the members of WTO. Correct. National treatment means no discrimination between domestic and foreign products. Correct. That is totally correct. WTO agreements are legally binding. That is also correct. Okay, because every member of a WTO has signed that agreement. All the agreements like GATT, GATS, dreams, trips, right? Those are what? Those agreements are for protecting the trade, right? Protecting trade, we can say, protecting intellectual property, we can say, having equal opportunity to all the member countries of WTO, correct? That is why those agreements are prepared. Environment is considered, but it's not the founding principle. No, it's not correct. WTO does not promote protectionism, rather it works to reduce the trade barriers. No, that is also not correct. Okay, see, protectionism for vulnerable economies. Okay, it is saying that this is the principle of world trade, but it is not the principle of world trade. Sorry, World Trade Organization. Correct. And C also, right? Trade related environmental protection. No, WTO is not providing such kind of environmental protection or trade related environmental protection. Okay, but it is focusing totally on what we can say. Uh, it is focusing on free trade, okay, equal trade or equal opportunities for all the member countries. That is the main function of WTO, right? Next, what are the functions of IMF's special drawing rights, SDRs? Serve as a reserves asset, act as international currency for general public, supplement member countries' official reserves, influence countries' IMF voting power, or E, facilitate transactions between central banks. So the right answer is option A, C and E. ठीक है? SDR help increase liquidity and support reserve needs, right? Used between IMF member countries and their central banks, not other than those. Okay, SDR is not currency, that we have discussed in the previous session as well, and voting power is based on the quotas, not on SDR. Clear? Next, which of the following are criticism of the structural adjustment program, which is called SAP, of the IMF and World Bank? A. Imposition of austerity policies, worsening of income inequalities, reducing in public healthcare and education spending, strengthening domestic industry, and loss of national policy control. A, B, C, E only are correct, right? Like SAP, okay? What is it? Structural Adjustment Program, right? It requires countries to reduce government spending, devalue currency, liberalize trade, right? This led to reduce social spending, austerity, and policy inference, right? Like the domestic industries often suffer due to increased import competition, right? Like the option was saying strengthening domestic industry. No, it's not strengthening the domestic industry, but actually it is what we can say, it is suffered a lot, correct? Which of the following countries have the highest voting power in the IMF and World Bank? China, USA, India, Germany, Japan. This is the very important question, okay? The right answer is A, B, D, E. A, B, D, and E, not India, right? See, voting power in IMF World Bank is based on the economic contribution, like quota. USA has the highest, following by Japan, China, and Germany. India has significant role but lower voting share comparatively. Okay, India has a significant role in IMF, right? But in terms of voting power, it is lower. Okay. Which of the following best explains the role of WTO's dispute settlement body? This is really very important. Okay, this question can be asked in the examination, right? Enforces trade rules among members, imposes sanctions automatically, provides legal judgment in trade disputes, ensures compliance with WTO obligations, or gives binding ruling. The right answer is option A, C, D, E. Correct? The DSB, okay, dispute settlement body, here's complaints. Okay, actually that body is for the responsibility of that body is to hear the problems, the complaints, right, and try to solve those. Authorizes retaliations, and ensures member follow WTO rules. That is the responsibility of TSP. It does not automatically impose sanctions. Okay, this is not happening. This happens only after ruling and compliance failures. If this kind of failure is happening, then it is automatically imposing the sanctions. Clear? Which of the following are areas covered under WTO agreement? Trade in goods, trade in services, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, that is TRIPS, fiscal policy of nations, or environmental protection framework. So that is option A, ABC. Okay, WTO covers GATS, TRIPS, right? Fiscal policies and environmental standards are not direct WTO mandates. Okay, though they intersect. They intersect. I mean, somewhere it is connected, but not directly these are connected, right? So that is why it is not there in the answer. Which of the following correctly differentiate between IMF and World Bank? Okay, A, IMF provides short term BOP support and World Bank gives long term development loans. IMF aims macroeconomic stability and World Bank targets poverty reduction. IMF has fixed capital base and World Bank raises fund from markets. And D, IMF focuses only on low income countries and World Bank helps all in income levels. And E, IMF lends through SDRs and World Bank lends via ID and IBRD. So the right answer is option A, B, C, E. Correct? IMF focusing only on low income countries? No, it's not that. World Bank helps all income levels. That is somehow uh, connected, but not directly. A is true. Short term versus long term. That is correct. Right? Like short term, IMF provides short term and World Bank gives long term. That is totally correct. B, IMF stability, World Bank development. Okay. IMF aims macroeconomic stability. Correct. And World Bank targets poverty reduction. Correct. Okay. Because World Bank gives the long term loan that is necessary for reducing the poverty, basically for sustainable development, right? World Bank providing the loans. Correct. Then IMF relies on quotas. World Bank raises money from markets. Right. D, IMF lends all countries, not just low income. Correct. What is remaining? Sorry, D was not correct, right? D was not there in the correct answer. IMF lends all countries to all countries, but option was IMF focuses only on low income countries. I said it is not correct. That is not correct. Okay. And World Bank helps in all income levels. That is also not correct. Not just low income. Okay. It gives for all. Correct. It is saying helps on all income, right? All right. But anyhow, one option was not correct, right? So it should not be incorrect. E is correct. IMF uses SDR and World Bank obviously uses IBRD and IDA. Okay. So this is all about today's session, everyone. If anything, if you have doubt in this session or regarding the examination or syllabus or anything, please put a message in a comment box, right? I'll read it and I'll explain you. I'll solve those questions from your mind, okay, in the next session. Clear? Thank you for attending this session. Bye bye. Have a great day.